Welcome to my video, hopefully you having a great day. In this occasion we are going to go through the entirety of Dragon Ball GT, but before starting, remember to check out past videos of this series, in case you're not understanding something. Also remember to subscribe if you are enjoying the content, I really appreciate. Without further ado, let's start. After the Z Fighters' victory over Majin Buu, timelines diverged between Dragon Ball Super and Dragon Ball GT. In GT's timeline, Goku never encountered Beerus, thus never underwent the ritual to become a Super Saiyan God, and he didn't receive formal training in godly ki from Whis. Instead, Goku focused on regular training, but eventually he realized his body had reached its limits. Rather than feeling discouraged, he searched for new avenues for power. Enhancing the flaws of Super Saiyan 3 proved impossible due to its inherent limitations, and strengthening Super Saiyan 2 won't do any good, since it would still be inferior to Super Saiyan 3. After much pondering, Goku realizes that the only way to get stronger is by learning more about the source of power of the only two fighters that were stronger than him, Super Buu and Gohan. By looking for answers, he tries to go to Kibito Shin and Elder Kai, but first, he goes to King Kai for help to reach the Supreme Kais. There, King Kai reveals to Goku that the Supreme Kais have a different type of life energy, the godly ki. He also says that himself possesses semi-divine ki, and he developed the Kaioken technique as a way to emulate the process to generate true godly ki, but it was too dangerous for him and also to any other mortal to even try to master divine energy. After reaching the Supreme Kai's planet, Elder Kai and Kibito Shin provide very useful information to Goku, telling him to learn a partial version of Divine Ki instead, since Godly Ki is forbidden to learn for mortals since it's too dangerous for them and the universe as a whole. Besides, Semi-Divine Ki is much more doable for a mortal to learn without dying in the process. For over 5 years before the 28th World Tournament, Goku trained consistently and very hard to learn how to use Godly Ki, and even though he failed to use the true form of Godly Ki, he still was able to harness a partial version of it, being able to use it to enhance his base form power so far. After increasing his power, Goku decides to relax for a while and wait for the next World Tournament, where UB is going to participate. From now on, the story goes on the same as in the final timeskip of Dragon Ball Z, with Goku fighting UB in the tournament and consequently deciding to train him for years to come. With the changes we did related to the semi-divine ki concept, we can explain properly the huge increase of power from Goku and also properly introduce the concept of godly ki to Dragon Ball GT by making Goku learn on his own how to use the equivalent state of Saiyan beyond God used by him and Vegeta in Dragon Ball Super timeline. Personally, I prefer changing that name to the demigod state since it's more in line with what we have been doing so far. Now we can properly rank both GT versions of Goku and UB during the end of Z. After training for years and learning how to use semi-divine ki to enhance his regular power, Goku has a power of 55 while using the demigod base state. Naturally, Goku can still just use his regular ki, but his normal power hasn't shown any major increase since the Rildo Arc, only improving a few decimals. Next we have the child UB, whose power greatly varies since he doesn't have proper control over it. At minimum, while being scared to fight, I put him around 20 and 29. While fighting seriously and sure of himself, his power level can go as high as 48, similar to Pure Buu's power. Goku and his new disciple train together until the start of Dragon Ball GT. During this time, Goku masters enhancing his regular ki by using semi-divine energy, while using his Super Saiyan forms, a feat he couldn't achieve before. The first arc of Dragon Ball GT, the Black Star Dragon Ball saga, follows Goku, Pan, and Trunks on a universe-spanning adventure to find the Black Star Dragon Balls and prevent Earth's destruction. This arc is so forgettable for me that I don't even feel like rating the very few notable fighters from this arc, the only ones being Logic and Lud. If you want, feel free to comment on what power level you would give to them. Next is the Babidi arc, where power scaling becomes much more interesting. The initial segment of the storyline involves a conflict against machine mutants created by the Tuffle race. The first formidable machines Goku encounters during this arc are the Sigma Force, comprising 4 members. The weakest member is Nat, who was defeated by Pan, while the strongest is their commander, Nizi. Goku engages in battle against 3 of them simultaneously, including the commander, and he still manages to defeat them relatively easily, in just his base form, even after the machines merge together. The subsequent opponent was Rildo, General of Dr. Mu. Rildo became the first adversary in GT to compel Goku to fight more seriously with the Saiyan, even likening his strength to that of Majin Buu, although the specific version of Buu remains unknown. While using his full power, Rildo proved to be somewhat evenly matched against Goku in his Super Saiyan form and even seemingly forced him to briefly transform into the stronger Super Saiyan 2. Towards the end of the battle, Rildo managed to turn Goku into metal, although this was largely a result of Goku attempting to save Pan. Ultimately, Rildo met his defeat through a combined Kamehameha from Goku and his companions. Continuing with the story, the primary antagonist of the arc emerges as the last survivor of the Tuffle race, who was reconstructed as a machine mutant, the genocidal Baby. Despite being heralded as the strongest villain ever, Baby never engages in a proper fight using his true form body, instead relying on possessing the bodies of formidable fighters. Upon possessing Vegeta's body, Baby becomes so strong that he manages to defeat a weakened Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and even his disciple, Ub, after merging once more with Good Buu. Seeking another means to defeat Baby, Goku attains the new Super Saiyan 4 transformation. The battle between Goku and Baby Vegeta goes back and forth, but ultimately, Goku, after powering up once again, triumphs over and destroys Baby. Now, let's proceed with ranking the characters from this arc. Beginning with our protagonist Goku and his companions, Trunks and Pan. As previously mentioned, GT Goku, without utilizing semi-divine ki, doesn't exhibit significantly greater strength than Dragon Ball Z Goku, differing only by a few decimals. However, with the inclusion of semi-divine ki, or as we'll going refer to it from now on, the demigod forms, Goku's power is augmented significantly. In his demigod form, Goku possesses a power level of 55.5, akin to what he had during the 28th World Tournament. It's worth noting that Goku's power remains the same even after reverting to a child, except in the case of the Super Saiyan 3 form. In his demigod, Super Saiyan 1 and Super Saiyan 2 forms, Goku boasts power levels of 58 and 59 respectively, indicating a significant improvement in the utilization of semi-divine ki since the end of Z. Lastly, we have the Super Saiyan 3 form, which I rank at 60, only if Goku is in his adult form. However, in his child state, he cannot fully harness the power of this transformation due to his underdeveloped body. Consequently, as a child, Super Saiyan 3 Goku possesses a power level of 59.5, and the energy consumption issues are exacerbated compared to his adult form. I'll reserve the ranking for Super Saiyan 4 and its variants until after we rank Baby. Moving on to Trunks and Pan, their power levels are 27.5 in their base form, with Pan potentially surpassing Trunks due to his inconsistent training habits. In his Super Saiyan forms, GT Trunks has a power level exceeding 37. The Sigma Force members possess power levels between 27 and 29, while their commander have a level of 38. The true strength of the Sigma Force lies in their coordinated teamwork, arguably proving more effective than when they merge together. To add more depth to the Sigma Force, let's assume their power increases when fighting in synchronization. I rank each Sigma Force member at a power level of 45 when fighting as a team and their fusion at a power level of 50. Next, we have Rildo, initially an ordinary alien, later restructured into a mutant by Dr. Mu, with the intention of making him the general of the machine mutant armies. Before delving further, it's pertinent to provide a reasonable explanation for the incredibly high power of General Rildo, and Baby as well, which stems from the highly advanced technology of the Tuffle race and the immense genius of Dr. Mu. With the combination of both factors, it's conceivable that even without information about godly ki, Mu managed to develop a technology to enhance the regular life force of a living being, inadvertently generating semi-divine ki. Through these innovations, Dr. Mu succeeded in creating formidable mutant machines like Rildo. With that being said, let's proceed to rank the power of the general. In his base form, Rildo possesses a power level of 52. And upon fusing with the Sigma machines, his power increases to 56. In his final form, after assimilating all the metal on his planet, his power and range of attacks notably escalate. As Meta Rildo, he reaches a power level exceeding 57. However, this form bears the glaring weakness of relying on a planet abundant with metal, such as his world M2, leaving Rildo vulnerable to destruction, alongside the entire planet if his opponent is willing to do so. Next, we encounter the most advanced version of a neo-machine mutant, the Tuffle parasite, Baby, engineered to be genetically superior to other life forms, including the already advanced machine mutants. Baby masterminds the creation of the machines and manipulates Dr. Mu into constructing a body more potent than any mortal in the universe. Utilizing a technology akin to that used for Rildo, Baby's power can surpass that of all other mutant machines and mortals if his body fully matures, through absorbing the necessary vital energy. Though Goku halts the completion of energy harvesting, Baby still possesses enough strength to utilize his parasitic abilities and inhabit the body of a formidable warrior, such as a Saiyan, accelerating his evolution towards his perfect form. Based on this premise, let's proceed to rank Baby, starting with his larval form. While it was stated in the show that Baby was stronger than all other machine mutants, considering his larval form alone to be that formidable seems excessive. Hence, I rank this form with a power level of 47, but due to his immature body, he struggles to fully harness his raw power in battle. As Baby continues absorbing more vital energy, his body matures further, becoming more adept at combat and better at generating semi-divine ki, thereby growing stronger. At this stage, Baby begins possessing the bodies of Saiyans to increment his power growth. However, his only confrontation in his child form was against Goten, and it's likely that Baby intentionally threw that fight to facilitate his possession of Goten's body. I rank this form of Baby at 50, still weaker than demigod base Goku. Before proceeding with the ranking of Baby's forms, let's establish the power levels of the Saiyans on Earth. Goten possesses a power level similar to Trunks, while his elder brother, Gohan, surpasses him due to his more consistent training. Gohan's base form has a power level exceeding 28, and as a Super Saiyan 2, it surpasses 43. Moving on to Vegeta, who maintains consistent training, albeit not as obsessively as in Dragon Ball Z. His base and Super Saiyan power levels are on par with Goku's without the use of semi-divine ki. Notably, Vegeta elevates the power of his Super Saiyan 2 to what we may term as Super Saiyan 2 Ascended, resembling the state future Trunks showcased in Dragon Ball Super. With this form, Vegeta's power level exceeds 48, still weaker than a Super Saiyan 3, but devoid of energy consumption issues. Returning to Baby, after possessing Gohan and Goten, the Tuffle parasite identifies Vegeta as the strongest Saiyan after Goku and successfully possesses the Saiyan Prince, utilizing him as his primary body. Baby augments Vegeta's power by infusing him with his own semi-divine ki, resulting in a substantial increase in power. This situation parallels Zamasu Black's possession of Goku's body in Dragon Ball Super, albeit with semi-divine ki instead of godly ki. Continuing with the ranking, Baby Vegeta in his base form have a power level of 56, surpassing demigod base Goku. Despite only exhibiting the Super Saiyan form in the show, for our power rescaling, let's assume he fought Goku while utilizing the Super Saiyan 2 Ascended form. Thus, Baby Vegeta, while in the Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2 Ascended forms, possesses power levels of 58.5 and 60, respectively. The subsequent two super strong forms of Baby Vegeta result from his absorption of even more energy from his followers, bringing him closer to the energy requirement necessary to achieve his desired godly, perfect state. The first and second strongest forms have power levels exceeding 61 and 62, respectively. Now, let's halt the ranking of Baby once more to evaluate Goku and powers during this arc. As Goku's disciple, has also learned semi-divine ki, boasting a power level of 57. However, after merging with Goodboo, most of his potential is unlocked, raising his power level to over 61, approaching complete access to fully divine ki. Meanwhile, Goku attains the Golden Ozaru form, which we'll classify into two versions. The first occurs when the Saiyan possesses a tail and can transform into a Super Saiyan. The second version, necessary for transforming into 4th level, is when the Saiyan can utilize semi-divine ki and transforms into the Golden Ozaru. Goku transforms into the latter form, possessing a power level of 62. After controlling his instincts and transforming into Super Saiyan 4, Goku's power level reaches 63. But there's more. To overpower Golden Ozaru Baby completely, Goku further increases his power by partially performing a ritual to unlock Godly Ki for Saiyans. In Dragon Ball Super, Goku achieves the ability to use Godly Ki by having 5 righteous Saiyans channel their Ki into him. Similarly, during this arc in Dragon Ball GT, Goku replicates this process with only 4 righteous Saiyans channeling their energy into him. As a result, Goku's power level increases to 64 after performing the ritual, although still not possessing fully God Ki, but getting really close to it. Finally, we come to Golden Ozaru, Baby Vegeta, and Adult Form Baby. Let's adjust the story slightly and propose that upon observing Goku's Super Saiyan 4, seemingly unlocking his latent Saiyan power, Baby Vegeta attempts to emulate this transformation. However, due to the incomplete fusion of his Tuffle presence with Vegeta's body, he fails to transform into Super Saiyan 4 at that moment. Consequently, Golden Ozaru Baby Vegeta possesses a power level of 63, while Adult Baby, on the verge of reaching divinity with his own body, boasts a power level of 60. Moving on, let's assess the Super A17 Arc, which suffers considerably regarding power scaling, compared to the rest of Dragon Ball GT, which speaks volumes. The plot of this arc revolves around Dr. Gero and Dr. Mu forming an alliance in Hell to exact revenge against Goku. After an elaborate scheme, involving the resurrection of past villains from Hell to invade Earth, and the creation of a new, superpowered Android 17, to merge with the original, resulting in Super Android 17, but they are ultimately defeated by Goku. There are a few changes I'd like to make during this arc. Firstly, Majub doesn't get to fight Super Android 17, because he's occupied saving the Earthlings, and defeating the villains that escaped from Hell on his own. In the show, Majub was done really dirty, and was completely useless against the Super Android, even though he should be the one giving the best fight against the android. Given that I've assigned Ub a power level of 61, he likely could have defeated Super Android 17 single-handedly, assuming the latter hadn't absorbed any energy. Regarding Vegeta, I previously mentioned that he didn't know how to utilize Semi-Divine Ki. However, due to his prolonged possession by Baby, he has unlocked the ability to enhance his regular Ki with it. It's worth noting that, during his fight against Super Android 17, Vegeta couldn't fully utilize these newfound powers as he was still adjusting to them. Additionally, in the show, Goku discovers the ability to absorb energy from Super Android 17 and recklessly attacks him with a 10 times stronger Kamehameha. To provide a slight alteration, I suggest that Goku instead uses a max power Kamehameha in hopes of overwhelming Super Android 17 with excessive energy. This desperate move serves as Goku's last chance to defeat him, especially as the Saiyan power begins to decline due to 17 absorbing his energy earlier. Furthermore, Goku's Kamehameha proves effective when Android 18 arrives to assist him, bombarding 17 with energy blasts. This barrage of attacks, plus the previously absorbed Kamehameha of Goku, leaves the Super Android stunned and unable to process the accumulated energy, allowing the Saiyan to finish him off with his Dragon Fist. Now, let's proceed to rank the relevant fighters from this arc. In his Demigod base and Super Saiyan forms, Vegeta reaches power levels exceeding 55 and 58, respectively, similar to Goku's. By tapping into the Super Saiyan 2 Ascended form, boosted by Semi-Divine Ki, Vegeta's power is 59.5. Hell Android 17 possesses the ability to utilize Semi-Divine Ki thanks to Dr. Mu. In the show, this android demonstrates the capability to hold his own against Vegeta in his partially enhanced base form. Considering this, Hell Android 17 boasts a power level of 51. The GT version of Android 17 experiences a substantial power boost due to being controlled and resonating with his Hell counterpart, meaning he has the same level. Finally, Super Android 17, in his base state without absorbing energy, possesses a power level exceeding 58. By absorbing energy, he can escalate to 63. However, beyond this threshold, his body becomes unable to handle the energy, rendering him highly vulnerable to attacks. Finally, we arrive at the last arc of Dragon Ball GT, the Shadow Dragon Saga. To begin, it's essential to understand that the formidable strength of the shadow dragons stems from their creation by the negative energies unleashed each time a wish was made with the Dragon Balls. These energies, generated by Shinran, an entity with divine origins as it was created by Kami-sama, imbue most of the shadow dragons with semi-divine ki. With this context in mind, let's promptly proceed to rank the shadow dragons. The second weakest Shinran in terms of raw power is the second star dragon, Hei's Shinran. Easily dominated by Pan, he possesses a power level of approximately 24. However, Hei's Shinran compensates for his lack of raw strength with specialized endurance, enabling him to withstand attacks from significantly stronger opponents. Moreover, he harnesses semi-divine ki like his fellow shadow dragons, channeling it entirely into his elemental ability to pollute the environment and weaken any living creature, including those infused with semi-divine ki like Goku. Given that his pollution ability is Hei's Shenron's true strength, I rank him at a power level of 56 if we only consider that aspect of his strength. Beyond this power threshold, his weakening pollution ability becomes much less effective. Technically, the weakest shadow dragon is Naturon Shinran, who relies on absorbing other living creatures to augment his power significantly, enhancing their life force with semi-divine ki. Essentially, Naturon Shinran sacrifices his personal raw power for the ability to escalate his strength to extraordinary levels after absorbing a single entity, granting him remarkable flexibility in terms of potential abilities, depending on what he absorbs. Additionally, the 7-star dragon can effortlessly burrow underground. Naturon Shenron's maximum power can vary depending on whom he absorbs, but the peak amount of power he can attain after absorption reaches up to 60. Moving on to Oceanus Shinran, I must admit to a slight bias toward this dragon, because the element of air is my favorite. However, despite showing really cool-looking abilities, Oceanus Shenron's underwhelming strength disappoints me greatly. Therefore, I propose a minor alteration, which is, her Princess Odo form is actually weaker than her true dragon form. However, due to her insecurities, she refrains from utilizing her true form under any circumstances. In her princess form, Oceanus Shinran boasts a power level of 57, while in her true form, she reaches a level of 61. It's worth noting that while using her abilities, Oceanus Shinran becomes vulnerable to external attacks. Next is Rage Shinran, the 5-star dragon, whose power heavily relies on absorbing electricity to augment his semi-divine energy. Without absorbing electricity, his power level stands at 28. However, when he absorbs electricity to the maximum extent, his level reaches 62, albeit with a significant weakness to water. Moving forward, we encounter Ice Shinran, the 3rd strongest shadow dragon. In his base shell form, I rank his power level to be around 56, and in his true form, it rises to 63. His counterpart, Nova Shinran, surpasses him in strength. With his base shell form, boasting a power level of 57, and his true form, reaching a level of 64, the 4-star Shinran comes closest to possessing true godly ki. Also, he is specialized in combat speed. The 1st-star shadow dragon, Sin Shinran, stands as the strongest among them, with a power level of 65. And as a slight change to the story, I want to establish that Sin Shinran is the only antagonist in Dragon Ball GT to wield God Ki, a significant factor contributing to his superiority. Furthermore, Goku's inability to sense his ki while being unable to see made fighting him even more challenging. After being overwhelmed by a powered-up Goku, Sin Shinran absorbs the remaining Dragon Balls, transforming into Omega Shinran. Although officially, his power increases tenfold in the show, as I said in previous videos, I won't delve into multipliers extensively. Omega Shinran not only enhances his powers, but also inherits all the abilities from the other shadow dragons. I rank this form with a power level of at least 70, although I will have a specific number after I finish the Dragon Ball Super ranking. During their battle against the dragon, Goku and Vegeta experience a significant power-up. Goku, in his attempt to overcome the formidable 1st-star dragon, replicates the ritual he previously performed against Baby. Utilizing other 4 Saiyans to channel their power to him once again, resulting in Goku achieving true godly ki by using the full power Super Saiyan 4 transformation. Due to the Super Saiyan 4 being able to handle godly ki, it signifies the biologic purpose of this transformation, which is to elevate the Super Saiyan to godhood. In this state, Goku's power level reaches 66, also allowing him to sense Shinren's energy and other gods. As for Vegeta, he attains Super Saiyan 4 after utilizing the same machine that Baby used to transform into an Ozaru. Naturally, Vegeta is inferior to Goku since he hasn't undergone the ritual. However, let's alter the story slightly and say that, during the fight against Omega Shenron, Goku and the other Saiyans channel a portion of their energy to Vegeta while using Super Saiyan 4, facilitating his ascension to godhood in a single ritual. With 5 Saiyans channeling energy simultaneously, akin to the ritual Goku employed in Dragon Ball Super, Vegeta achieves the ability to use godly ki while transformed. During Vegeta's ritual, the disciple of Goku, assumes the responsibility of holding off Omega Shenron. This time, having honed his Majin Buu powers further through training, Majub gains new abilities such as body manipulation and regeneration, akin to the original Buu. While still not a true match for Omega Shenron, Majub's strength is sufficient to buy time. I rank the newly empowered reincarnation of Buu at a level of 65. Failing to defeat Omega Shenron individually, Goku and Vegeta opt to use the fusion, forming the ultimate warrior, Gogeta. Given that both Goku and Vegeta wielded godly ki in their Super Saiyan 4 forms, the fusion amplifies their power to an unprecedented level. Although I'm not sure of the exact number yet, I rank Gogeta's power level at over 80. Following the triumph over the Shadow Dragons, Goku embarks on a journey with the original Shenron for over a century, likely culminating in his attainment of true divinity. The narrative leaves GT Goku's power and status after leaving with Shenron for a century open to interpretation, so in the same way, I leave it up to you to rank the power level of our beloved Goku. There are also the descendants Goku and Vegeta Jr., which they lack definitive statements or feats regarding their power. So personally, I give them a power level of 27 and 30 to their base and Super Saiyan forms, respectively. Before finishing, I'll name the tier 60 as minor deity. We will get to tiers 70 and 80 in next videos. With that, we are done with Dragon Ball GT power levels. Originally, I thought I would have to nerf GT Goku quite a lot, but with the semi-divine ki concept, it really helped to keep everything nearly the same, with just a few changes in the story. It also helped to make both GT and Super feel a lot more connected story-wise, so I am pretty happy with the results. There are still more things to discuss about Dragon Ball GT story and transformations, but we will get there in the future, most likely for Dragon Ball Heroes. Alright, that should be for the video. If you enjoyed it, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to my channel, and if you prefer not to, I still appreciate immensely that you watched the video. With that being said, I hope you have great days to come and see you again soon. Smiley face.